Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like it, if you're being yourself, fuck them.
It's Big Los,
Hollywood Kev,
and welcome to another episode of The Noize. We back, baby.
Yeah.
Listen, sometimes people just need a break.
Yeah.
And I feel like, first of all, if you haven't yet, follow us on the Big Three at The Noize Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can follow everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com. Now, back to my excuse. I just think, man, we've been doing this for so long and having a real consistent stretch of shows. And the only reason I say this is an excuse because like that's what you're kind of supposed to do. But we've been very consistent this year, especially that we really didn't take too much time to like take a break, take a day off, especially with the back-to-back of Comic-Con, the back-to-back to Cognac Conversations.
Yeah, there definitely could have been a break in there.
It should, and it should have been, you know, and it was needed. I mean, we even talked about it on the show, which I think gave our ear hustlers, you know, a little more compassion towards us missing the show. Like, yeah, y'all go ahead and take that break. Somebody actually even said on the video, like, yeah, we good. But yeah, we needed a week off. That day, actually, I guess we can talk about too. So we're moving the studio. We actually found a spot. We're going to sign with them really soon. So it's going to be a lot of transitioning going on. Hopefully we can get everything done, I guess, before whatever that following episode is. Yeah. This isn't going down until next month. But that's some of the house maintenance that we were talking about. Right. And then, of course, we just had to get some stuff together with Beat. There was a lot of planning that was going on, a lot of things currently in the works to be launched. And I'm looking forward to everything we got coming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Next year is going to be fun.
Next year is going to be
We're going to be busy, but it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. But you know what? It's going to be a good busy.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be a good busy, and it's going to be a good stress at that because we're actually doing what it is that we love to do.
Exactly.
It's going to be a really big change with the Noize as well. Well, at least you guys see it now with the visual podcast, but it's definitely going to be a big change coming up from the visual side that we're really looking forward to, that hopefully we can get started when we get into the new studio.
Yeah. Fun times.
Fun times, absolutely. Man. Stressful fun times. Yay, no sleep.
Yay, no sleep.
Which is low-key what's going to happen tonight because I'll definitely work at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, that's an early shift.
You know what I've realized, though, getting up for that 5 a.m. shift? When you wake up at 3 in the morning, it's almost like you didn't even sleep. It don't matter how long you slept. Nah. You get up at 3 in the morning, it's like, bro, it's still yesterday to me. Yeah. I know it says 3 a.m.
But the sun ain't up yet.
But to me, it's midnight.
That's what I go by. The sun ain't up, it's the same day.
This new day don't count.
I don't care what the clock says. That's a construct.
Exactly. Nope. He said that's a setup, if anything. Yeah. So, good sir, how was your week?
My week was filled with a lot of writing, a lot of research. I was mad none of my shows came on this week. I don't know what the whole deal was, but
what didn't come on?
Like the shows I watched throughout the week, like I set days where I watched certain shows and they just didn't come on. I'm assuming probably for the election. Or the day after. Yeah, I was not happy about that. But other than that, a lot of writing, a lot of mental space. It's funny because life is funny.
That it is.
Because
comical.
Because I take every year and try to, at the end of the year, try to figure out what I've learned and what that year went through. And I can honestly say this year was a mental year. You know what I mean? Back when like I first hurt my back, first couple of years was physical. This one was definitely mental. And even though it sucked, I can honestly say I wouldn't be ready to be in a position that I plan on being in without taking this year. Because I learned just a lot about myself, a lot about how to do stuff. I don't know if you've ever felt like this when you know that you're evolving, quotes on evolving, opposed to your way of thinking the way other people's thinking is. So that's been pretty dope, but mostly, man, just writing. All I've been focused on is writing and learning how to do different stuff, maybe looking at stuff I didn't know how to do before. But really just writing, man. I want to make some noise at the beginning of the year. So
no pun intended. I see what you did there.
Yeah. So I want to get things right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I look at a lot of the things that happened this year, especially with me. it was just, the opportunity to kind of grow from it and be better from it. It's been a lot of bullshit this year. I can't sit back and say, oh, this year was sunshine and rainbows. Right. You know what I mean? It's been a shit ton of bullshit this year.
But if it wasn't for that bullshit and you just jumped into a new level without going through the bullshit, you probably wouldn't be able to manage that.
Exactly. Exactly. I've learned to, take the bullshit, deal with it, learn from it, be better from it. Especially, with the hospital, with the hospital visit.
Right.
And then with the other situations, it's just like, I know I have to find a different way to move. I need to find that solid balance between PC, CEO, owner of a company, and the Los that everybody has known and loved.
That's one of the things I learned too, like trying to carve out time for yourself, even if it's just a few minutes, just to have time for yourself. That's important.
But one thing I've honestly noticed with trying to, I guess, be PC and be Los at the same time is, and we've had this conversation on the show before, so before you start going into I told yous and all this other bullshit you're going to get into, it doesn't matter exactly how you try to present yourself to people. If they're going to have a mindset towards you, they're just going to have that mindset.
Absolutely.
And I've really gotten to that place where if you don't love me for who I am, if you love me for who I could be, or whatever the case is, then you never really loved me at all. So
that's true.
At this point, I'm out here just trying to live, man. I'm trying to live and I'm trying to do well. One thing I do need to do better is my posture and sitting. Because I watched the last show and I didn't have a neck. And I need the ear hustlers to know I have a neck.
It's there.
It is there. Yes, I am a big dude. I have not reached obese status to where it's just jaw and chest. So I just need people to know that there's a neck there. So if you see me extending throughout this episode,
it's to remind you.
It's to overcompensate for my neck. All right. So just know that. My week was straight. I was kind of pissed because my week was 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day. Except
tough.
for this last Wednesday.
That's tough. It's a gift and a curse. Me personally, because I'm a night person. If I'm up at 5 a.m., then getting to 1 is not a big deal to me. It's if I go to sleep to wake up at 5 a.m., that's when it's a problem.
Right. And that was the problem.
That's no problem. But it's cool because
you can't really time it out. It's like, all right, cool. If I go to sleep at 10 and I get up at 3, it's like 5 hours.
Yeah.
But then you realize 5 hours ain't really that much.
Exactly.
Because you're going to be up from 5 a.m. to whenever you decide to go to sleep.
But
again.
I'd rather work that shift simply because while you're working, everybody is asleep.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's the easiest shift.
Yeah.
It doesn't really
it's just
pick
a matter
up.
of getting there.
Exactly. It doesn't really pick up until after I come back from break. But once I get back from break, it's lit.
You going.
However, the place that I work at around this time, I'm able to get so much shit done. Like realistically, I'm going to edit this show during, my time at work. So I appreciate having that opportunity to do that. Because if I didn't have that, it'd be a lot of rushing. And at this point, I don't need that. I don't need to feel overwhelmed with the stuff we got, going on, especially because there's more stuff coming.
Right, exactly.
So I definitely appreciate having that time. But yeah, man, getting up at 5 a.m. I'm sorry, getting up at 3 a.m. to get at work at 5.
Doesn't sound pleasant at all.
What's pissing me off is every Lyft driver wants to fucking talk at 5 in the morning.
That's why you got to have your headphones in, bro.
I don't be getting them on in time, bro. Like I've only had one dude that just didn't want to talk. And low key, I think he just got out. You know what I'm saying? Because he was driving real hard. He even had a little attachment to put on the window. He's holding the phone. I'm like, this is dangerous. But but I'm just trying to get to my destination at the end of the day.
You gotta have the headphones in, and then if you don't have the headphones in, fake a call and then put the headphones in.
And you can't fake a call at 4 in the morning. You can't fake a call at 4 in the morning.
Fake a call from your job. Yeah, I'm on my way. I'll be there.
And then it's to get them to speed up.
Yeah, and no, be like, I'm on my way. We're getting there. I'll be on my way.
You know why I stopped faking calls?
Up and act like you listen to music, dog.
You know why I stopped faking calls?
The phone rang.
Every time. That's why I said fuck it. And then now, between the bill collectors and all the stuff we got going on, my phone gonna ring naturally. Right, so it's cool. I wait till a regular, it has a regular ring. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But yeah, outside of that, I just been working on all the new things that we've been discussing that we can't necessarily reveal to anybody yet. Yeah, that was my week. It was a pretty bland week. Yeah, it's pretty bland week in like news and everything.
Yeah. I guess that's what happened when election week.
Bruh, I've never been so happy that something has been over. I'm tired of them calling me, texting me, in the DMs,
on my door.
Literally in the DMs at that.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I got a message on
Facebook, and I believe it was one on Instagram. No, it was just Facebook. It was a random just Facebook message, and then of course they had a little sponsored post and everything like that. Like, bro, come on, I get it. We gonna be there.
Most I had was somebody knock on the door. They knocked on the door.
See, I didn't have that.
They knocked on the door. Wonder if you were voting. I'm like, who are you? Like, this little black lady just knocked on my door. Like, no, get the hell off my doorstep.
No, the only situation I had close to that, because no one's knocked on the door, I've actually never heard that one.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it exists, and I think I've actually seen photos of people going door to door politicking.
Yeah, she was going definitely door to door with a clipboard.
But I was coming out of the dispensary, the one on Cheyenne, Thrive, and there was always two fucking people there sitting, waiting for you to come out so they can have this whole ass discussion. And the crazy thing
that
is,
at Walmart.
The crazy thing is, they're not trying to have the discussion with you to help you learn more about.
They just want to get
voting.
you registered to vote.
They want to get you registered. Yeah. I'm like, bruh, every time I come here, and I'm a frequent visitor at Thrive, we need to get them as a sponsor.
Y'all
see me every damn day almost.
But only register one time.
You only register one time, and mine's been active since the 2016 election.
Mine's been active since then, yeah.
So it was like, to have to come out every fucking week and see y'all, and I tell y'all every week, like, bro, I'm registered.
Yeah, it gets annoying.
Do you want me to show you? Like, you want me to have it on screenshot already? So then once you tell me that you're registered, okay, cool, thank you. So we could have bypassed all that conversation if you just asked me, hey, you registered? Yes. Cool, thank you. Move from there. But you're like, hey, did you know da-da-da-da-da and proposition da-da-da? I'm like, look, bro, just ask me.
Right. Because if now you won't.
I'm gonna keep walking and I'm gonna look rude. And at this point, I'm kind of cool with looking rude because you stop me from getting to my bag.
Man, look, I do that with damn homeless people. I just keep on walking.
I'm selective. I'm selective with homeless people. It depends. I'm selective too. Depends on their approach.
Yeah, it depends on their approach, and it is a couple of homeless people that I see around that I know. But for the most part, every time I go to the guy, I say, "Hey, brother, you got $1?" No. Do you? Keep on walking.
Do you?
Do you?
What if he's like, yeah?
then you don't need mine.
Then let me get your $1.
Right. Yeah. I will keep on walking. I don't care.
Now I do want to ask, because we kind of touched on it a little bit before, the whole voting thing in general and like its importance. You said you wanted to talk about that a little bit, or did you change it?
No, it was just a question, because during that Tuesday or the day before, whatever, I had seen a lot of people saying you should go vote and so on and so forth. So my question, well, you told me you did, and I just want to say, like, how do you view people that don't vote?
Honestly, and it's not a popular opinion, I have no different views towards it. I look at the decision to vote the same way I look at the decision to do anything in life. At the end of the day, if your decision doesn't pan out how you want it to, you have to live with that.
Absolutely.
But you're a grown ass man, and another grown ass man ain't gonna tell you
right.
You know what I'm saying, to what you're supposed to be doing. With me, the only thing that gets on my nerves with voting isn't necessarily the people coming up with the excuses to not vote or whatever, like theories or whatever they have towards voting like that. That's going to happen. What irritates me is the people that go out of their way to shit on the people that see the importance of voting. And on the flip side, the people that go out the way to shit on the people that don't vote.
Right.
Like, it's just one of those things where if we're in this place, we're supposed to respect everybody's ideals and everybody's commentary towards the situation. What's the point of, putting this kind of pressure on them to do something like that? Like,
right. I understand what you're saying. I agree with that.
Like, how I look at it, and I voted, so I feel like I should be able to make this opinion. But the way I look at it is, has there been change for black people for any of the elections I voted in? No. Is there a possibility for change? Yes, which is why, then that's why I do it every time. If the next person, is fed up from that and they just don't want to do it, then okay, cool.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. And part of it because we watched 2016, how people did vote and this woman won the popular vote and it still didn't mean nothing. So for this one, I'm like, maybe I should pay more attention to it because it is midterms, is different stuff, but I'm not going to shit on the person that did. I just don't see it as a thing for us. Like you were getting presidents voted in before we became legal to vote.
Right.
So to me, I'm like, how is my vote supposed to count then? if you were doing it before then, you know what I mean? What's to say that you're going to implement our votes in now? That's just me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just me. And again, maybe I should pay more attention to the midterms, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of voting.
No, and I get that. And, you know, a lot of people our age, they'll say, well, the first time I voted was in 2008. And that was for Obama. Like, you also need to do the math. That was when we were old enough to vote.
Right. Right. And I'll be the first one. I voted for him. It didn't matter. He could have got up there and said, hey, we finna blow some shit up.
Cool.
Got my vote.
Black guy.
But you know, the second time around, I was really considering if I wanted to vote or not. I was really considering. And if I did, well, I mean, I did vote. I was considering if I wanted to vote for him or not. You know, what I mean, it could have went for the other guy because I was like, you know, ain't no, there's no change that's been happening. So,
right.
Yeah, but this one, I left it alone.
Now with this one, I won't even say with this one. I would just say with the general elections, like period. We look at the body that Barack Obama caught in both elections to win. And it's kind of, that's one of the few times where I feel like, okay, the minority vote mattered. The minority vote came through. And if there is something going on behind the scenes that we don't know of, that's one of the times where you can't argue it because you knew with there being a black man on the ballot, you was about to get cats out of the woodwork that never voted a day in their life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now I look at stuff like that and it makes me happy because I'm like, okay, so that's the strength of the change that we could bring forward. But then when you have elections like this one, where it just seems like everybody's crooked, I understand the hesitance to go forward and vote for these people.
Right. My thing is like, I guess how people say it with Trump and Hillary, it was like vote for the lesser of two evils. And I guess if you have to, all right. But me, I'm like, I don't have to vote for either one of you. I don't support either one of them. You know what I mean? I will say that I've seen a lot of black women, a lot of black people that have won these elections, which I think is dope. I think it's dope that the mothers of these slain kids, they're voted in. I think that's dope. That's amazing. But me knowing the grand scheme of things, I can't get up and go do it. Me personally, because I know probably a little bit more than the average person and in that particular field, and I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
All right, so we'll be prepared to have a shit ton of questions based off of that.
That's fine. Because the thing about me is, man, I try to be transparent. If you know me, chances are, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you, and I try to be transparent and I stand by with what I said. So if people got questions or whatever cases, I'm sure to happy answer all those questions. But if you're going to ask me questions, be prepared to answer some of mine.
No, of course.
That's all I am. But yeah, I'm fine with that. You know, ask me questions, cool.
One thing I've noticed with you know, exchanging information and just talking and stuff like that, why is it that people are more inclined to get they shit off, but once you get your shit off, now you're the one that's being disrespectful. Now you're the one that's being, you know, extra or whatever. Like, have you ever noticed that?
People listen to reply, not to understand.
I agree. I definitely
so
agree with
I
that.
think that plays a big part in it. And sometimes people just want to say what they want to say and don't want to debate or don't want to get into it because they know that they don't want their ideas challenged. So they just want to get their shit off and fuck what you got to say, and that'd be that.
Yeah, and I think that's why I don't engage. Like, I know you go around, you troll Trump supporters.
It depends. It depends, because some stuff I see even from Trump support, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not gonna touch that because I'm not gonna do it. But then some stuff, there's stuff that I see that's blatant stupidity. That's when I'll mess with it. But I'm like you, I've learned to not engage with people because not everybody thinks with common sense, so it's not. Yeah, and that's not beneficial. And
I can never really sit back here and say that, you know, anything that I've said has just been logistically correct. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna know what's true and right to you can be completely different to somebody else. Exactly. That's your truth, their truth, and the truth. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the way you got to go about it. It irks me though when you see these people who will deliberately want to have a debate, but in their head they've already accepted that nothing's going to change my mind. They're not open to dialogue that can possibly challenge or even change somebody's original stance on something. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's just it becomes a waste of time even having a conversation. Like, dog, what's the point of us debating this if you're not being open to what I'm trying to pitch to you? And in some cases, I may not be open to what you're trying to pitch.
Right. I think the root cause of that, if we really want to break it down, I think the people that do that, there may be some fear involved in that. And the reason I say that,
how you figure?
Because the way I look at it is, whatever ideals or whatever things you believe in, when that's challenged, it makes your way of thinking challenged. It makes your way of being challenged, and you're uncomfortable with that. So you don't want to do it. That if you want to, I'm not going to get into this topic, but if you want to look at religion, challenge a 70-year-old on what they believe in, you're going to have hell. You know what I mean? Because they're not comfortable with that, whether it be factual or not. They're not comfortable with that. They went through their whole 70 years believing this one thing, and now you're presenting something else that may go against what they believe in. They don't want to. It's uncomfortable. So yeah, they don't want to deal with that. It's a fear-based thing.
I would say with the conversation about religion, that one gets a little twisted because there's never really a challenge to have just regular dialogue. It's normally a challenge to belittle the believer or the non-believer.
True.
Religion used to be the same conversation as politics. It was definitely something that, you tried not to speak on, mostly because there's never any respect in it. Mm-hmm. One thing that my mother's coworker had said was, as much as you hate Trump, as much as we all can't stand him, you can't say he hasn't at least said one thing that made you be like, now, can I remember it? Hell no.
You're right.
But there was something that he said during his election. I was like, all right, he kind of got a point with that one. But the rest of it was all fuck shit.
And again, I don't remember it. But even I look at Trump like he got the balls to do some of the stuff that he's been doing. That's more what I'm impressed with. But I agree with you. He probably has said something.
Even with I can't even respect the fact that he has the balls to do it because I feel like his balls, is the exact same balls that he had when he became a business tycoon. I got a small $1 million loan from my dad. That's not necessarily balls. That's having that kind of clout. That's having that kind of back.
In that aspect, in the business mind, yes, that's having that kind of clout. But to get on a national stage and be like, yeah, I grabbed about a pussy, you got to have a little bit of balls to do that. To me, I don't think he would have did that, or I don't think he would have said that. Or obviously he would have said that, but I don't think he would have publicly said that if he was just a business tycoon. That's just me. I think it took some balls for him to be like, say that on the president, and it took some balls to say that, and for people to be like, well, he's grabbing about a pussy. That's it.
Nah, you can get away with a lot when you're racist.
I've learned that. If you're racist, you can get away with a lot.
It's the language of the country.
If you look at what he's recently, I guess the recent presses he's been doing, he's been going in on reporters being blatant.
He had a whole argument with CNN.
Yeah, I seen the Jim McCosta thing he had, but then I seen today he had a argument somebody asked him a question. I forget what the question was, and he was like, "That was a stupid question." Yeah, I watch you a lot. You do it. You make a lot of stupid questions. Bruh.
And to me, see, I have issues with that. On one hand, I'm like, yeah, that's ballsy. Mm-hmm. I take that and I look at it like that. On the other hand, I can't help but to compare only because he's the first black president. I kind of saw what happened. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if Obama had said any of this, if Obama would have called any reporter stupid,
Obama would have been out of here the first year.
Long time ago. You know what I'm saying? We have all our reasons to impeach him. But it's so crazy because there's so many people that make excuses for Trump and who he is and how he operates. But if we're getting cats out of the entertainment industry for half of the shit that he done said or he done did, why not get somebody who's a proponent of everything that we're supposed to be against?
That's very true. The way I look at it, if you support Trump, you're supporting somebody that's blatant racist to me.
Right.
So I can't take what you're supposed. Of course, you're going to make excuses for another racist. Of course,
absolutely.
So that's just the way I look at it.
But one thing, though, and I said this so many times back when he was running, is Trump is a reflection of what America wants to be.
Exactly,
and that's why with the Democrats, hopefully I'll get this right. The Democrats winning the House,
they won,
and the Republicans winning the Senate. So now it's a divided Congress. Mm-hmm. You look at it, and it's like they took that as if that was just the worst thing that happened in the world. Oh my God, we got to split this shit with the Dems again. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And because Trump reflects on everything that America is, that's why it's so easy for him to make the moves and make the comments that he's been doing. Because this country never gave a fuck about minorities.
That's true.
And Trump doesn't give a fuck about minorities.
That's true.
This country never gave a fuck about women.
That's true.
Trump doesn't give a fuck about women.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And then this country has always had we're the big bully, of everything. We gonna run up in everything and make it ours. Trump made a career.
That's true. How to do
off of running people about their establishments.
Even though me personally, I think America's kind of on decline. Like I think China's definitely.
But that's what I was saying.
But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he has balls with everything he says. But some stuff be like, oh, that was a little ballsy to say. Some stuff be like, this guy is stupid. But
yeah, exactly. I think that's what I think it's more so stupidity because I could really see the Speaker of the House being in the back like, oh God. Well, please shut the hell up.
Well, I think they said that Maxine Waters was the president of the House. Now,
was what?
The president of the House?
I don't know what her position is.
No, I think that's what she got elected to be, like the president of the House. So like she now has, the House now has subpoena power to go after him. And the way I looked at it, because I was curious about this, I guess in that particular branch, it's something, I forget what it is first, and then the Senate and then the House. So the Senate kind of has to answer to the House is what I was reading. I think that's how it goes in the House is the next people who would be the president, vice president, who they would listen to. So I think I think if I read it correctly, then she's like a president or something. And either way, I think she's going to do her best to try to get him out of here if they don't get her out of there first.
Oh yeah, I feel I'm scared to death for her, bro. I'm scared to death with her getting 2 packages.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
She's already got
back when the bomber was doing his thing. It doesn't sit comfortable with me. Like I'm happy she won the position.
Right.
It just doesn't sit comfortable with me the same way it didn't sit comfortable with me when Obama won.
Right. Oh, I thought they was picking him.
In my head, I'm like he's getting assassinated first year.
Me too. What do you think? Why don't I know this is off on a tangent a little bit. Why don't they identify white people or white mass murderers as terrorists?
Because they look like America. It's very because it's easy to identify an entire country as a country of terrorists when they all look a certain way.
That's true.
So the fact that every major shooting that's happened out here that wasn't in the hood, every major shooting, bombing, whatever the case is that happened out here has been white faces.
Yeah.
And we're the minority. So who's the majority? White people. So as soon as you get all these, multiple crazy ass white people that's running up into a spot and shooting everything down or blowing it up or whatever, the second you call him a terrorist, you now have to acknowledge that 1, American terrorism is an issue.
It's an issue.
And 2, white people may really be dangerous.
Right. Yeah.
As much as everyone else is being painted as dangerous, black people, Mexicans, Arabs, Middle Eastern people, whatever the case is, as much as everyone else is being painted as dangerous, now you got to look at yourself and be like, I'm kind of dangerous.
Right,
I could do some shit.
Right. I seen something where they were already starting to call like that shooter in Cali. They were always starting to call him. He was a loner. He had mental issues.
Oh hell yeah! There was excuses the day it happened. I saw an article that said I forgot what the situation was, so forgive me, and definitely prayers to all the families that lost somebody that day. Somebody said in an article that so and so shooter may be suffering from PTSD. So before we do any kind of psychoanalysis on this dude, before we do any kind of booking, whatever the case is, the first article is he may have PTSD.
Yeah.
Bro, this shooting just happened.
It just happened.
And we're already saying he may have PTSD.
Yeah.
But had he been any kind of, let's also talk about how a lot of Republican speakers or whatever you want to call them, they always tweeting out how this is possibly a terrorist attack, how this is possibly ISIS related or whatever the case is. Yeah. And then they saw he was white, and it was like, oh, let me stop tweeting. First of all, let me delete these tweets.
Right.
I'm gonna stop tweeting for
That's
the
like
day.
with the bomber. I seen an article where they were, this is not a white person. It doesn't look like a white person. They were trying to call him Hispanic.
Right.
He was a Hispanic supporting Trump. Regardless, bro, he was dealing with the rhetoric that your guys
on y'all side.
He was on y'all side. So,
but you know what though? When you look at every American terrorist, they all were on that side.
Yeah.
Like the Unabomber, Timothy McVeigh, the dude that was sending out the bombs to everyone from the Obama administration, whoever supported Obama or dislikes Trump. I'm pretty sure when they look into this dude's record, he's gonna also be some kind of a Trump dude.
Right, yeah. With this last dude, I would not be surprised if they pull out the woodworks and try to give him every reason why he shouldn't, or why he did it instead of it being blatant terrorism.
Well, they're definitely going to kill him. I'm going to say that for sure.
Supposedly he's already dead. Supposedly he was part of the 12 that was.
Oh, he killed himself?
Yeah, or the police killed him. I don't know.
Oh, well, get him the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, supposedly he was that.
Okay,
Only thing I did feel bad on, it was some people that were at the Route 91 here thing in Vegas
that died there.
Shooting, yeah, they were at that thing. I will say that it is curious timing. I will say that, but it doesn't change the fact that lives were still lost.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my heart goes out to those because, especially if you've been in two, you know what I mean? Like damn near a year apart. Yeah, that's.
Wasn't there somebody that died in the Route 91 shooting that survived? I think it was the gay bar shooting in Florida.
I think I may have heard that. I think
it was either that or some other. First of all, it's been entirely too many fucking shootings this year.
Yeah,
like it's scary the amount of fucking shootings that we had.
We're talking about We're not even talking about school shootings.
Right, exactly. And we had a scary number of those this year as well.
Yeah. Shit, we had last month. I think we had two last month just in our city.
Yeah, just in our city.
Yeah.
Just in our city. Yo, that's wild.
That's wild.
That is wild.
I was just saying that, like, my daughter becomes to homeschool. Homeschool is what they're
absolutely
doing. Like,
yeah, when I finally had kids, they ain't going outside.
Yeah, homeschool is what they were doing.
Play with the ball, go in the corner.
We had a person on our team who was homeschooled, and but he was zoned for our school. So when he wanted to play sports, he played for our school. It'd just be something like that because I'm not taking no chances.
No, that's insane. Getting off of that, it's something that we did. We just wanted to touch on. I guess dealing with the hypersensitivity of the world today. Mm-hmm. And I guess we'll explain that more. So Pete Davidson addressed Ariana Grande on SNL, and he had two jokes. I know he had one.
I only seen one. I seen the one
that was on a commercial, right?
No. The one I seen was, well, I guess you can call it a joke. It was like the end of monologue where it was him, Jonah Hill was in the middle and some other chick, and he asked a chick, will you marry me? And she was like, no. And he was like, ooh, 0 for 3. Like
0 for 3, right. Yeah. And then he had another comment at the end of one of the segments or something where he said that he wished Ariana Grande the best. And like I didn't hear that he's really stand up about it. I'm going to touch on that one first, and then I'm going to get on him making a comment about the dude with the patch eye. You look at the fact that he made a joke about it. Mm-hmm. You know, Saturday Night Live, they make a joke about everything, whether it's serious, whether it's something that, you know, is comical in people's eyes. They're going to make a joke about it no matter what the case is. So for them to set it up with that's all Pete Davidson is in the news for right now is his split from Ariana Grande.
And he's barely on SNL at that.
He's barely on SNL at that. So when he finally reemerges, you don't think people are, you know, expecting him to make some kind of a comment towards it? Like at that point, it's one of those things where you should just already have that on the docket. Like, okay, Pete's coming back. We got to do this. You know, we got to make this happen in some way, shape, or form.
I don't think he should say nothing at all. I don't think he should say nothing at all for the simple fact that, hey, dude, you were the one prancing around talking about that nobody was asking you. I don't think he should say nothing. He should have got on there and kept doing this thing like ain't never happened. Like, that's your personal shit. Why do you have to address it to the public?
No, now, granted, from that standpoint, I agree. Mm-hmm. You know, I put it this way. If he wasn't a comedian, I'd agree.
Okay.
But because one thing with comedians is being overly vulnerable
and everything.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. If you really listen to comedians' jokes, I'm like, damn, you are a stressed motherfucker. You got a lot going on, family.
Right.
But you know, because they're so vulnerable and they're so open with so much, I didn't expect anything different. So it's kind of like if he didn't touch on that, it was kind of like, okay, so you're purposely keeping from this. I'll use Kevin Hart as an example. When he came out with "Let Me Explain," you knew what he had, what had to be addressed, and that was the cheating on his wife and bouncing out with the new chick and then getting her pregnant.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Not his current wife. I'm talking about with
the chick that he's with now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait
a minute. So he left his original wife and then got with the new one. The same way with the new stand-up special, I'm more than positive he's going to address when he got caught up cheating.
Right.
It's just, it's an expectation when it comes down to comedians. Fucking Richard Pryor is a prime example. He had a whole set dedicated to him setting himself on fire.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what kills me when people say, "Oh, it was in poor taste and all this other stuff. She's currently grieving Mac Miller and all this." Like, dude, he's a comedian. He didn't say anything crazy. He just poked fun at what happened.
Right.
I think him making the comment afterwards was very big of him to do. I think it was very respectable of him to do as well. But I also feel like as a comedian, you really shouldn't have to apologize for material.
Right.
because comedy, as we said, is subjective. Some people are going to enjoy it, some people, aren't.
And then I don't think any comedian tries to maliciously make a joke to target or hurt somebody.
Right, exactly. Unless it's like Ari Spears or shit. In some cases, Cat Williams.
Well, yeah, but I think those are specifically jokes. I mean, if somebody just saying they're just a random broad joke, I don't think they mean it to really
to necessarily hurt somebody's feelings. Right? Yeah. No, I agree. Another thing that he said. Well, first of all, let me stick with that one. I also don't like the hypocrisy of it all, at least from the Ariana Grande fans, whatever the hell her beehive is called.
Like how?
Everyone's going in on Pete Davidson for making the 0-3 joke, but she has a whole song dedicated to Mac Miller, Pete Davidson, and Big Sean.
That dropped the day before that episode.
I think it's called like "Thank You Next" or something like that.
I don't know what it's called.
It's some kind of like dismissive thing. Now, I didn't listen to the song.
Yeah, right.
I'm not an Ariana Grande fan. However, if you're gonna have a whole song dedicated to what happened, why isn't this man entitled to make a comment about the same relationship that she was in? He was in that same relationship. Why can't he make a comment?
Because he has a penis.
This is true. We're not allowed to do shit. I think this is where people hack into the Beat Network servers and like, no, we're gonna shut this down.
Shut this down.
I guarantee you the camera's no longer recording. But no, I mean, that's the only excuse that I can think about it.
Yeah, no, you're right. They shouldn't be so sensitive about it at all.
At the end of the day, it's gonna happen. I bet you enjoyed the shit out that song.
Right. Not only that, how is it that we let everybody else do it? Like if we go on the TLs, everybody else can make a joke, but as soon as this person that gets in a relationship makes a joke, it's a problem.
It's a problem, exactly.
That's fickle. And
that's actually the next comment I was gonna get to. The joke he made about the dude with the eye patch.
I didn't hear that joke.
He said that it was funny. He said that he looks like the bad guy from a porno movie. And now when you see it, you can't unsee it. Was he
talking about somebody specific? Or?
Yeah, it was, he was running for some form of something recently in the election of 1,000 people. And
he has an eye patch.
And he wears an eye patch. He lost his eye, I believe, in Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
Again, that sucks. Mm-hmm. Thank you for fighting for the country or whatever. However, from two stances. One, I say again, Pete Davidson is a comedian. Mm-hmm. Nothing and no one is off limits.
Right.
Because no one said anything about, with the contributions that Bill Cosby, gave to the black community. No one said shit when they fired off on him about touching people.
Yeah.
Granted, I understand tomatoes, two completely different situations. I get that. However, Pete Davidson was also joking about some of the stuff that my man with the eye patch was doing. He seemed to be on some shady shit as well. Mm-hmm. But now, of course, not as shady as rape, but that's a completely different thing. Now, getting away from that example, I also look at the fact that everyone that got mad or really, were raging about it were Republicans. And didn't y'all call Michelle Obama a monkey? Like all 8 years that Barack was in the White House?
Yeah, I'm mad at that man for wearing a tan suit.
I got mad at Obama for making a tan suit. Y'all still say that Michelle Obama's a man.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I think during that same like interviews with Trump after the election and stuff like that, he went up there and he said something about Obama and the reporter corrected him. He said something, it was Obama's fault for Crimea or something. I don't know what it is. He said it was Obama's fault for something. And a reporter was like, no, it was the Russians' fault. It's been proven that it was the Russians who did this. He was like, oh, well, Obama let it happen. This man ain't even in office no more. And your current president's still talking about it.
But that's the shit that irks me about that side. Again, I'm not a big political person. I'm happy that I was able to vote as an independent. Mm-hmm. I was able to change it like right then and there. But I hate that there's this selective outrage from that side where you can call the first lady a monkey and a man and call their kids monkeys and hoes. Y'all could do all this stuff, all this fuck shit towards Obama or whoever's in office at the time that's a Democrat. But let somebody make a comment about one of y'all people. Oh, he's disrespectful. This and that and third should be happening.
During my little trolling stuff, like I will see them put up stuff. They said this about so and so, and you will see like the caption that read like with outrage. I say I have seen that, but this is America.
Absolutely. Thank you, Childish.
This is America. It's one of those things. I look at it. It's one of those things where they feel like they can do whatever, and then the minute you turn it around, they have an issue with it. And I think that comes from them kind of being the more dominant political party since this became a country. So I think they kind of got in their head like we're the big dog. No matter what you do, It's us. Yeah. I don't know. Me personally, I think Republicans, I think Democrats too. I think the fact that they look at each other as that and not trying to fix the world or fix, whatever situation, I think that's a little off to me, but that's just me.
As like Kendrick said, Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens going forward. I want to randomly see like that too. I want to randomly see like an independent win.
That'd be dope.
Like just have a random yellow dude come in.
Yeah,
I don't know. And let me not. And when I say yellow, you don't get racist. I think that's like the color of the independent party. It's like yellow. But
green is their color.
Right. It's something random. But yeah, I would love to see like an independent who really doesn't have ties like that to either side, who just really wants to get in there and just.
I think that'd be dope. I think that'd be dope because I think I don't know about all independents because I don't read up on them like that, but I think most independents probably have it in their head like they're really going out there to do what a politician is supposed to do for their people. They just don't get a lot of support, so they lose. But I think they really go out there and try to put on for the people, try to do what's right. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure their policies are generally probably good. It's again, if you ain't got the people that's going to support that policy, then it's nothing you can really do.
This is true. Now, with that, if an independent was to win, I wonder what does that change? And then we're gonna get off of politics. This is kind of I hate these subjects. But if an independent was to win, there are ideals of Republicans and there are ideals of Democrats. What would you say an ideal of an independent is? Like, is that something that just kind of gets created once they're in?
Maybe they got, of course, their own opinions, but they probably pick and choose the good opinions from the other two sides. You know what I mean? Maybe they take that and with their own opinions and make it all one. I don't know, because honestly, I don't think an independent is going to win anytime soon. I really don't. Like, I honestly think that with this, after this election, I think there's probably going to be some restructured going on somehow, because I got faith in the American people that they're not going to let somebody else like Trump get in there.
I want to really see if Akon going to run. The 2020 election is going to be hilarious. If it's really Akon and The Rock and Trump.
That'd be funny.
Then it's time to really leave the country.
And Oprah.
Nah. Really? You think she may double back?
Yeah, she might. Who knows?
Bro, let me tell you right now. If that's what the election looks like next year, then I'm out. It's time to go.
I was sitting there thinking, like, I wonder.
Beat goes to Beirut.
I know other countries, laugh at us, but they probably really look at us like we're a reality show. Like,
of course.
They just laugh, and that's crazy to me. Like,
I know you didn't get a chance to be on a conversation, but when we did the Black Podcast Month and we had the girls from Lemon Shade on, I asked them straight up. I was like, when y'all see, the politics and everything we got going on over here, what are some of the things? And they was like, honestly, people think it's the funniest shit in the world.
That's crazy.
She even says, like, now, granted, England can't really laugh that much because our what was it called out there?
Euro?
No, not that. That's the dollar.
Oh,
that's
I thought you're talking about the dollar.
No, they're because it's like the way that we have our our cabinet or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Democracy.
They're whatever they dealing with, their kings and their queens and shit.
What's it called, a hierarchy or something like that?
I don't know. I feel like the further we go into it, the worse we're gonna look. Right. So with they thing they got going on over there, they got mad issues over there, but theirs are more serious than ours. Ours makes us look like clowns. Theirs is like, yo, this could literally change the course of, our country. Like this could change everything we got going on.
Shit over there.
Exactly. Like it's stressful over there. Right. Over here, it's just like, y'all look so stupid.
Like little kids.
Exactly. Everybody just poking at us.
The way I try to look at it is I think America is probably if not the youngest country that's in the state we are now. Don't get me wrong. I know there's other countries that's probably been made after that, but I mean, to be a higher power, probably one of the younger ones. So I think the other countries probably look at, they're some little kids. They don't know what they're doing type shit. I don't know. I hope so.
I don't know, but I need to go to Canada.
Yeah, Canada seemed like the move. Canada.
Somebody's going to jump in the comments. Canada does this. Like, yeah, but I could also go to the doctors in Canada and be straight.
Right. Canada or like the islands or something.
It's funny. Me and my mom actually had a conversation about that the other day. It's so fucked up how expensive healthcare is here. Like, they were talking about something dealing with my brother, and this man looked my brother in his eye and told him that his copay was going to be $2,500. I'm like, you want that right now, or can I? How do you want this? How you want this? Saying spread apart. So he telling me I have to drop this 25 on you right now,
just to see you,
right? Just to find out if I got some shit going on. Like that's wild to me.
It is. You're absolutely right. Our healthcare system here is trash. Like other countries, other people when they come from other countries. Your guys' healthcare here sucks. You're right.
Yeah, can't even argue that.
You're right.
Can't even argue that.
It sucked. And what's crazy is that it's really a debate in government if they should make it better or not. How is that a debate?
Right. Let's make this easier for the American people. What? Nah.
Right. Yeah. Like what?
Is that something we really got to think about?
Right. I don't know, man.
Anyway, getting off of politics finally, and going at more poking at people. We touched on it before, but I think it is absolutely hilarious that 50 and Ja are still going at it.
Well, is Ja and 50 are still going at it, but it was more so Ja, even though it did sound like he was crying a little bit, but he did make a point. He said something in it. I didn't read the whole caption, but it was like something this guy. First of all, I didn't like the fact that he used a picture of Donald Trump and 50 that was old. A lot of our favorite rappers took a picture of Donald Trump.
Everybody got a picture with Donald Trump.
They didn't know, you know what I mean? But then it was like he's got this platform, 21 million people. He never be big up in black people, stuff like that. To an extent, yeah, you're right. 50 don't do that, but it's a lot of other celebrities who don't. But to me, it sounded like he was really just crying because he was getting picked on, and now 50's on this. I'm on his positive vibes. Mm-hmm. Shit, like if you look at his Instagram, he's like positive vibes, which we know is bullshit, but. Yeah, I think
it's not even bullshit. It's 50 shit.
Yeah, I think Ja was like crying a little bit on that.
Now, with this situation, I personally enjoyed when they were throwing records back and forth with each other, and I also personally don't want to hear them throw records back and forth with each other.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Are we in the age where you want to hear the interviews from these people?
I was exactly going to go to that place. It's so funny how we're at the place where we're stalking their social media to see who's going to reply to what, and then we're waiting for the big interview to drop. It's so crazy where hip hop beef has gone. Like it, and really, it's kind of a plus for us because we're in this alternative media for hip hop, and now it's like instead of taking it to the booth, which I honestly would rather.
Me too. I'm both. I want to hear the interview, but I want to hear the record too.
Right, exactly. I'm interested in both. Yeah. I definitely want to hear both. Now with them, I don't know.
No, I don't want to hear a record from Ja at all. 50 because I listen to him and I probably have heard and listened to a lot of stuff that people don't even know exists. Mm-hmm. So for me, I can still be tapped in that way, but I can say I'm more interested in the interview than the music.
I definitely want to see that. Another social media stunt that I wanted to touch on in the last episode, but we didn't really talk about it. And really, it's not really a stunt. It's more so just a situation, and it deals with Nikki and Cardi. Mm-hmm. Now we saw Nikki made a statement about something dealing with motorsport, and one of them designers, I can't remember which one they were talking about, and I was about to call her Remy. Cardi went on like a full...
Yeah, she went like 6 videos.
Exactly, like 6-7 video like rant about, what was good. And even though I'm like, okay, that's cool, because, that's taking that route that we said on the last show that we want Cardi to be. Mm-hmm. If this is who we're championing Cardi B to be, then we need to go ahead and let her just be that.
Right.
I wasn't really cool with the fact that it ended with, that same day, it ended with Nikki posting, I'm no longer going to entertain or give this energy and all this other stuff. And then Cardi responded, okay, then sis, then we just going to chill, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, this was whack.
The way it ended,
this should have at least went to wax at least once.
Yeah, the way it ended, as a fan of beef, then you can say it's whack, but I don't believe that's really like how it is. Like they say it, I think that's for public. Maybe it won't be on site like that, but I believe if one of them was to just breathe the wrong way, the other one would be like, "Yo, what's good?" I don't believe if they really patch things up and be.
Now, good. I honestly think Nikki's going to be the one to kind of get things cracking again. I think she'll be the one that's going to spark the flame. However, if it does kick back up again, I'm no longer interested because. Y'all,
the way it ended, no longer.
The way it ended, it was way too manufactured. Yeah, like it seemed way too packaged, and that I look at that ending the same way I look at Jay Prince told me not to respond. Oh yeah, and I have a book coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I look at it the same way. Like it's in those kind of aspects, the beef is seeming way too manufactured. At least with M and Machine Gun Kelly, it ended with MGK feeling like, listen, I came out at the one of the best battlers that's in the game right now. I have nothing else to prove. I did what I was supposed to do. At least I got an explanation as to why he's not going to respond. With them, come on, a post,
yeah.
Like y'all are airing each other out, and not just airing each other out from a place of, oh, saying you this and you that and you this. You're airing each other out from a place of business, of professionalism.
Yes,
you're going much deeper than what the usual hip hop beef would be.
We wouldn't know about.
That we wouldn't know if it wasn't for your post.
Yeah.
So the fact it's just going to end with, it's all love, it's all positivity. Okay, cool. It's all love, it's all positivity. Do I want y'all to go to blows? Nah. Do I want another shoe thrown? Nah. Would it be entertaining to see? Hell yeah. But I definitely would rather get bars.
Yeah,
I would much rather hear bars.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be interested if it happened, but I think it's one of those things like, you ever get into a fight, teacher break it up, now shake hands. I think that's what that was.
Exactly. It didn't even feel like a fight. It was just an argument, and then they were like, now hug.
Yeah, I think that's what that was. You know what I mean? I think, ain't Drake and Migos on tour or something like that?
Yeah, Migos are opening for Drake.
I think they may have had something to be like, yo, y'all try to figure this shit out or something like that. Because y'all severing relationships. I believe that. But I also do believe that Nikki will be the one to start it again.
Absolutely.
And it'd be something like, oh, you want to take it there? Let's take it there. I believe it'd be that.
What I was about to say was Migos are on tour with Drake, and I saw that Drake brought out Chris Brown for the LA show.
Now I'm not a big fan of Drake like that, but I am a fan of Chris Brown like that. And I gotta say that a song with those two might be fire.
No, I absolutely agree. I think that, first of all, a tour with them two, that'd probably be the biggest tour of our generation, low key. Depending on, especially if they got some solid openers. Oh my God.
Let it be Chris Brown, Drake, Travis Scott.
Man,
sold out.
Here, take the bread. You had the money. But I look at their situation, and at least, again, this is one of those situations where we saw a resolve. We heard that things got squashed along the way. They started kind of itching us back into the fact that there's some kind of relationship there. And then he brought him out. To me, I look at that the same way I look at, even though it's nowhere near the severity of it, I look at that the same way I looked at Jay bringing out Nas, to where you haven't heard anything about it anymore, but then this solidified, okay, this situation is over.
Right.
Not only is it over, we're now going to work on some things. Like we're now going to actually do business with each other. And I think they also teased something on social media. I think Chris Brown called them the light-skinned legends. Now, I doubt it'll be anything, called that. However, it's like you said, get them two on a project, get them two on a tour. Bro, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real problem.
If they want me to, I can manage them a tour exactly how they would do it. And just pay me, and I'm good.
He said, just cash me out.
I'm good. You didn't even got to tell people that I manage it. I fade back into obscurity.
It's funny, though, how Drake hasn't mentioned anything towards 40 leaking the whole kid information. Like, he's just going to sweep that under the rug, act like it didn't happen.
Or do you think it was one of those things where he heard that and he felt like he had to come to 40 like on some personal shit because...
Oh, yeah, he absolutely came to 40.
Something like that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They had a conversation for sure. Now, it's just weird because... And that's why I looked at the Chris Brown situation. You have your best friend snitched on... was pillow talking with a female about your kid. So how do you distract everybody? Let me bring out the person that threw a bottle at.
Right.
And I chipped his whole chin off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a solid distraction. So it makes you wonder, like, is the beef really over with? Or was this just something he did to kind of distract folks from what was going on?
No, I think that particular beef is really over with. I think it's done.
I
hope it's done, but I think that particular beef is done.
I believe it's over. I just don't think it's over for the right reasons.
It's up in the air.
I look at it the same way he squashed the beef with Charlemagne. That, he bought bottles for Charlemagne, then really bought bottles for Charlemagne, and then took a picture with Charlemagne popping bottles in VIP. That wasn't to resolve their issues. That was to stack on top of what was going on with Meek. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm gonna ask you a question. You can be selective. Because you can be so you don't have to really say it or really, really say the nitty gritty part. What is the worst thing that you think you've said pillow talking?
This is about to be a real awkward silence for
Nah, I know you might have to go back. But like I said, you don't have to say like details, nothing like that. What is something you said pillow talking that you wish you could have took back?
This is about to be such a obvious male answer, but as my homeboy, I would hope that you believe me in saying this. I haven't had a situation where I had to like pillow talk with my girl to be like, oh yeah, my homeboy's doing this and the third, because the way I operate is the reason that I'm not active on social media like that. I don't present anything dealing with my life to be open dialogue for anybody else. I don't make myself become a conversation. I try to take that same respect that I would want, and I'll try to give it to other people. Like if somebody tells me a secret, if they really want me to keep something, they understand I'm going to keep that.
Right.
That's going to be exactly that. If it is something that I'm talking to my girl about, then it's something that I know for a fact that the person that's dealing with the situation would also talk about openly and candidly if they haven't already.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like through social media. So if that's pillow talking, then probably one of my homeboys' breakups.
No, I get it because I'm exactly the same way. Like she can't say that I've told her something that I shouldn't have said or nothing like that. It's usually how's good? Oh, this is good. Beat's good. Like it's usually like that. You know what I mean? It's never, and I do that for my own reasons. I'm not gonna say on, but yeah, it's never been. Damn, I wish I didn't say that, or
right.
You know what I mean? Or I said something in this Drake situation. I say something, me and the chick not together, and she can run back. No, it's never been nothing like that.
It's a rare thing, and honestly, I wish it was something that men would do more of. But it's rare that we show the same respect that we want back with dealing with stuff. You know, people say all the time, anything I say behind your back, I say to your face. But 9 times out of 10, they just bullshit. They wouldn't say to your face, because once it's finally exposed, now it's all the apologies in the world and it's all an issue. That's something I've always truly lived by. If I'm going to say something to somebody about you, I've already said it to you. Yeah. Because there's nothing that this person can tell me about our situation that we need to talk about that you can't tell me on your own.
Right. You're absolutely right.
You know, now if we get to a place of conversation and we can't get to the bottom of it, if our communication is off, I'm going to go to a respected friend whose opinion I can really like take and really digest and be like, okay, maybe I was tripping, or damn, I wasn't tripping at all. But other than that, if I can't fix that situation with you, then there's no need for me to have, you know, a conversation with somebody before I even get to that place. Right. But if I need to get something figured out, then I'm like, okay, be a completely unrelated third party and let me know who's more in the wrong in this situation.
No, you're right. I agree with you. I think that's one of the dope things I like about my particular circle is we can all talk to each other and give praise or give the real. You know what I mean? If you're fucking up, we can all say that. And I think dudes in general don't really have that conversation, especially with their counterparts. Like a lot of dudes look for yes men.
Now, one thing I will say that kind of touches on what Dave was talking about when he was on the show. Shout out to Neff. There are a lot of men. There are too many men that be out here pillow talking.
Absolutely.
And it's to a ridiculous place, because there's nothing worse in this world than a woman scorn. Hell hath no fury than a woman scorn. The second you piss her off, your business is now our business. Exactly. We all need to know that. I'm going to tell this story. I'm not going to say names, but I know some people are going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. There was this dude that we went to school with, and his girl found out that he was cheating on her. Now, he was cheating on her, you know, with a fair amount of women. Now, from dropping genders, you know what this next comment's about to be. He was also cheating on her with a fair amount of men as well.
Oh, no.
Okay, let me not say cheating from a physical aspect. However, emotional and psychological cheating. Now, he got caught. I think if the stories are correct, he got caught like trying on her heels or something random, and they were able to just brush past that.
How do you wait? Time out. You can't brush past no grown ass man with some heels on.
Bro, we got a whole photo album of Oscar De La Hoya.
And he's still getting clowned.
Right, but they still allowed that man to be Oscar De La Hoya.
Well, because he can punch people.
That's the difference.
Yeah, that's.
But so then you, I guess she must have found pictures or something of him in his phone or whatever the case is. I don't know how she got control of the pictures, but she went on to create a Twitter.
Oh no!
Called so and so is gay, and posted every picture, all the screenshotted conversations. I'm pretty sure it stayed up for a while. You know, Twitter don't be caring.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it stayed up until somebody reported it. But it was like, yo, and that goes back to my original saying, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. I'm not about to set myself up in a situation that if I piss this woman off, what I told her in confidence is now what she's telling everybody else in confidence.
One thing I learned is you never want to give a woman more than she can leave with. And I know women listening, they're like, "Oh, no, fuck you." But that's as men. That's
you don't mean like financially,
right? That's what I've learned. Like you never want to give a woman more than. And it took me a minute to understand what that mean until I was kind of in that position. I was like, if I wouldn't have did X, Y, and Z, and she wouldn't have had the ammo to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So I understood that. But that's one of the things I learned. Never want to leave a woman with more than she, or you never want a woman to leave with more than you want to give her.
But on the flip side, it also is weird when I hear women pillow talking to their significant others.
See, that's not weird to me because that's to me. I guess I expect it because it's like gossip.
It's expected from that kind of standpoint, but just from a logical place in a sense, like as vindictive as women could be when they're hurt, men could be just as worse. And it could go from a place of not, airing out this person's laundry, but it's like, I got a little more on this person. So now maybe I can have something dealing with this person work in my favor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it changes the entire landscape, not knowing that this information that led to dude doing whatever it was came from you.
I will say that the women in the past that I've dealt with, is some stuff about other dudes that I probably don't remember, don't care to know, but it's some stuff about other dudes that was told to me. I'm like, damn,
right? You
just airing this man out. So see, I agree with you on that.
And that's the thing, and I'm probably gonna end up pissing off a lot of my female friends with this, but with me having like, we always gotta speak on it like this, with me having like legit women friends, like whom I've never had any kind of anything with, they get comfortable in conversation, and they'll tell me things, and I'll be like, I'm not gonna say anything, but god damn, you are letting this ring right now.
I've been in that position,
and I'm like, if you're doing that with me as a man, I know you're doing 3 times as worse with somebody that can actually,
or 3 times worse with your girls.
That's what I'm saying, with somebody that can actually relate to what you're going through. And it was just the way it would ring off. I'm like, yo, that's wild. I'm not telling nobody nothing. Nothing ever again.
Stay right here.
This shit is coming out your mouth. Yeah. It's just all word vomit, just straight up. And I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with that.
And I'm gonna delete this message.
And all right, I don't want no parts of this.
Parts.
When it gets brought to me, I want to be like, what? Get
this
the fuck
is news
Get the
to
fuck
me.
out of here. You tripping.
It's crazy because I've done that too. I've had somebody tell me some shit, and I ain't say nothing, and then it was brought to me, and I'm like, "What? It's new, yeah,
bro. I'm king of the what?
Yeah, I've done
low key. That may be the episode. That may be the name of this episode. What? I'm king of the what? I ain't got no time for it whatsoever. Yeah, but that's one of the things that make. But that's another reason why I am so hesitant to put so much of myself out there. With social media. Like I said on the show before, and I think I actually made I had a slip of word where I said I'm a very personal person, but I'm gonna get personal now. I'm a very private person. Gotcha. And I got personal, with that situation because men don't speak about mental health, and they don't speak about when they're going through these things. A lot of times we're looked at as bitches. But outside of doing something that I think is gonna better, somebody that's listening to it, I can't get personal like that.
No, yeah.
Because again, you're releasing a lot of information that, unfortunately,
could come back and bite you in
your ass. Some people could really use that shit as ammo. And that's one of the things that,
Or hate when you tell somebody something and then you fall out. It could be something they throw back in your face. I hate that shit.
Oh yeah, I hate when you fall out with somebody and then you hear from a mutual friend.
Yeah,
you know that same information. Like, damn, like you went to saying that quick. Mm-hmm. Like that shit is insane.
Mm-hmm. There's one thing I can champion women on though. They do have that conversation that men should have with themselves, and I think that's dope. Like they talk about mental health, they talk about stuff that's stressing them out or just different shit with their mental. Women do that, and I think men need to do that.
Men definitely need to do it more. However, I can definitely say that the numbers for sure increasing. Yeah, I would say in the last 3 or 4 years, I've had more conversations with the men in my circle about mental health and, healthy, living to kind of protect their mental health. I've had that conversation more in the last 3 or 4 years than I've had my entire life.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I'm very appreciative of it. Unfortunately, we're not in a position where we can have that conversation outside of other men because you're opening yourself up to be, a group chat conversation. Mm-hmm. And 2, 9 times out of 10, we're looked at as a bitch. Yeah. So it becomes really hard to do so. Or as complaining.
And let's just show, and you got to keep it to your circle, because if it's anybody not in your circle, they're going to probably look at you the same way that a woman or somebody else that's not in your circle will look at it like you a bitch or whatever. So you got to kind of keep it in the circle and get with some trusted people.
What I don't understand is how are people that don't like people that aren't in your circle, people that don't rock with you, how are you cool with just telling them information? Yeah. You know how many people I done checked in at this job and they get to telling me all they specifics?
White people.
Yes, but I'm just trying to say people. It's be some of us sometimes, rarely, but some of us sometimes. But they'll get, I'm like, bruh, you're never going to see me again. If you're lucky, I'll check you out.
Maybe that's why maybe that's why they feel like they tell you. Maybe they feel like it's something they just need to get off. They'll never see you again, so they feel like they can just rattle off. And
I'm just saying, man.
Me personally, I couldn't do it, but yeah.
Oh, exactly. I'm like, bro, you're giving me a lot of you right now. Like you're giving me a whole bunch of you right now that personally I can't.
I find out you checked in, you staying here for a week, but you left because you beat on your wife. I might look at you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to get out of LA, man. They're coming after me after I beat my wife up. Like, bro, what?
Exactly.
Like, first of all, I'm putting you on the second floor away from the elevator. You're going to suffer this entire trip. I'm making a point. But Jesus Christ, what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know,
caught cheating with my wife's sister, so I'm here in Vegas. Yeah. Keep that to yourself, dog.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. At the end of the day, you have to be able to confide in your circle, but then you also got to make sure that the relationship in your circle is solid.
Absolutely.
Because as soon as that bond break, oh man, you're in a bad place. Now, one thing I could definitely say is that I've had friends that I would have honestly taken a bullet for, that we've fallen out, and their secrets are still exactly that. It's their secrets. I don't make it a point to try to go out of the way and tell what's going on with some people. I've heard some people that I've heard from outside sources, people that are in my circle have talked about me or whatever.
Right.
Unfortunately, we're in a place where if I can't prove that, if you're not going to come to me as a man and say that that's the case, unfortunately, I just kind of have to be selective of what I'm saying and what I'm doing around these kind of people. That doesn't change the fact that they're my mans. You know what I mean? Like
just move a different way.
You just got to move differently. Yeah. That's all. Because I can take what this person is saying as gospel and fuck up a really good friendship for you just being vindictive. Or I could just be like, because you feel the way that you do, it's a good chance you're telling me the truth.
Right.
So,
yeah, I've learned that part as I got older. Like I remember younger, somebody say something about me that maybe I knew or didn't know. I approach them like, yo, you said X, Y, and Z, you know what I mean? And usually they retract or whatever the case is. But as I got older, I was like, you know what? If you don't have the balls to come and say it to me as a man, then all right, you already took L because you talking about me behind my back.
Right.
That's something I learned growing up. So I agree with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that.
If y'all weren't able to tell, nothing happened this week outside of the election. So we hope you enjoyed this hour-long banter. Kev, let the people know where they can find you at, Brody.
On Twitter, _ Hollywood Kev. On Instagram, Hollywood Kev _
At Big Los IG on IG. Of course, at the Noize Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, you can follow everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just call that a show. If you guys want to go ahead and correct us anything, do it in the comments, kind of get them algorithms up. Also, another thing, since we're going really visual now with the Beat Network stuff, on the YouTube channel, not only subscribe, but hit that notification bell. Let it be known that, you know, when we have something come up, it just pops up in your system.
Yeah,
and that'll actually help us out a great deal as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithms or whatever the hell dealing with. It shows that people have a demand for it, and it continuously goes up from there. So go ahead, hit that notification bell, and, you know, get the demand up for your boy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you kindly. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. And as always, it's Big Los.
Hollywood Kev.
It's the Noize.
Shit.
What was that?
That was close as hell. Yikes.
That was Tales from the Hood.
All right.